How are we doing, everybody? It is Ross, and welcome to the 1% Daily Show, where I share 1% of my day with you, 14 minutes and 24 seconds. That's all it is, and that's how long the podcast is. This is my opportunity to share with you my experiences, the little bit of shortcut, the little bit of a hack that you can try and get to learn from the stuff that I've done with you on social media, with you back there on YouTube, with you here on the podcast. I want to share with you the stuff I've learned from my life, from working with my clients, with my organizations that I work with, the businesses that I run, and just my family and experiences. I want to share this good stuff with you. So hopefully you've been enjoying it. First of all, a big thank you to the people who have just been all over my social media and all over SoundCloud. I've been blown away. I literally went on this morning and found out that my shows have had 200 listens in the last 3 or 4 days, which is incredible. Incredible! I just kind of did that incredible bit because I'll cut it out and edit it as a nice little advert. So what we're talking about today. Today is going to be all about, we're continuing on with my Norway theme. So if you're new to the show, Royal Marine Commando, away with the reserves in Norway for 2 weeks. If you've missed my previous shows, go back and check them out. I talk about the icebreaker drills. I talk about Northern Lights. It's really cool. So today is episode 51. I still can't believe I've done episode 51. It really is incredible, and I'm just grateful for the people who listen. And grateful I get to do this as part of what I do for a job. So today I'm talking about your circle of influence. Now there's lots of different interpretations of circle of influence. I'm talking today about your inner circle, that close group of friends you either work with, operate with, or hang out with a lot of the time. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. And this is really making me think about my time away in Norway. So previous to Norway, in fact, I'll start again. I came down to this place that I work at now called Helm about 2 years ago, and I was reading a book. I think it was How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think it was that book. But it was talking about you are the sum of people that you hang around with. And at the current time, I was at home working on my own in the company of my dogs, and I'd see my wife, I'd see my kids, and then I'd see my wife's mum. And hey, don't get me wrong, Dareth, brilliant person, but that was it. That was my circle of influence. I then put myself into a place where I was down here at Helm with a bunch of entrepreneurs, people who run businesses and are successful, and all of a sudden shit started to change. But I actually realized I'd been doing this in my life anyway. I just didn't realize at the time. So with regards to my time away in Norway, this was highlighted again, the whole you are the sort of sum of the people you hang around with, and you have either low or high expectations. So Royal Marines, ridiculous expectations when it comes to warfare, when it comes to cleaning, when it comes to organization, when it comes to leadership, when it comes to just getting shit done. And in Norway is a very unforgiving place. So a bit of backstory: average temperature when we were out there, -18, coldest -23. Most ridiculous time in the breaking through the ice or in the storm, the survival shelter overnight, -23. That was pretty hectic. So it's pretty unforgiving. Now, what I found when we were out there, with the reserves, you go away with commando units from different parts of the military. So we had some army commandos out there. I think we had some navy commandos as well. And all very good in their own fields. But it was very, very clear and very, very evident that when we were out there that they weren't as keen or as good when it came to certain aspects of the training packages that we were on. So with regards to the icebreaker drills, basically going through the ice is about how you're able to manage your shit. Make sure you don't lose it, start flapping, and ultimately end up in the water being dragged out by the training team. Now, it's a bit of a mental game. And that starts way back when you start your military training with the Marines. It's instilled from you from the get-go. I'm not going to sit here and harp on about it. If you know any Marines, seen any documentary on TV, you'll see and hear what I'm talking about. The standards and expectations within other military sort of segments, arms of the British military, are very, very different. And this was very, very evident when Army commandos, Navy commandos started going through the ice and just started losing their shit and flapping big time. And I mean, like, training team having to shout at them, say, look, if you don't get out, no one else is going to get you out of the water. You need to get a grip of your shit. And it just had me thinking about the circle of influence, the people you're hanging out with. Are you hanging out with the right people? And I'd find that with the Marines, like I said, ridiculous standards. So it becomes just, my standards now when it comes to military are impeccable. They're through the roof. And don't get me wrong, I will still drop the ball in my field with the Marines, but it's still higher than other people's areas of expertise and areas of discipline, things like that. And I found that actually this transfers into all areas of your life. And you can soon look around and see who you're hanging out with and who is adding value to your life or taking value away. And the Marines, ridiculous levels of energy, ridiculous levels of expectations. So they have a very, very high expectations of themselves and of others. And if anything, this is what I want people to take away from today, is that you need to raise your standards. Raise your standards of yourself and of the people around you. By doing that, you will start to weed out the people that are no influence or positive influence to your life, but you also start to attract the people you need in your life. And what I mean by that is, for example, my wife and I, we manage the time that we spend with certain people. So this may be family members, this may be friends, this may be people we know. Now, we manage this because we were going for a period of time where we were seeing these people all the time. Well, not seeing them all the time, but we'd see them, and then we'd come away from that experience and we'd feel physically drained, physically tired, just run down, and we'd be pissed off or annoyed. And then we just started saying to each other, well, why are we doing it? Why are we going there? What are we getting out of being there? Now, if it was family members, it was all about spending time with each other, to see the grandkids, to see us as well. But there is that point where we kind of, both parties just were doing it because we felt we had to. And actually, when we started to manage that, we get on better now with these family members and with these friends and these people that we hang out with, because we know exactly what to expect from each other. We know exactly how we operate within that environment. And now we know we have these expectations of each other, and that's it. It doesn't go beyond that. We don't just hang out for the sake of hanging out or start gobbing off about stuff that might potentially annoy or upset the other person. We know what works and we stick to it. For example, Sarah's mum, I have a far better relationship with Sarah's mum now that I don't see her that often. I used to work with her. We get on way better now than we used to, just because we manage the time that we spend together. She's an amazing person. I love her to bits. She does so much for our family, so I could never say a bad thing about her. But I don't need to be hanging out with her all the time. By the same token, she doesn't need to be hanging out with me all the time, and that's okay. I put something in play there to manage who I was hanging out with. And this came from the Marines. The Marines will only hang out with the good. They will weed out the bad, and they will only make space for people who meet a certain criteria and have ridiculous standards and expectations of those people. You need to start doing this in your life. So the type of people you need to be looking for, you need to be looking for people who add value to your life, okay? Who you can also add value to their life in a good way, and they're willing to receive it, okay? You need to be hanging out with the people who are either doing what you want to be doing or are on a similar journey to you. So, for example, if you want to get better at running, you go hang out and train with the good runner. I have a guy near me who's a 2:20, 2:15 marathon runner. If I want to get faster at running, I go and hang out with him. If I want to get better at using the computer, the internet, I have a guy here who kicks ass at that stuff. I hang out with him. If I want to speak to a marketing guy, I hang out with him. If I want to speak to a guy who's got ridiculous family sort of relationships, I message him. I want to know what he's doing. I find that people who are doing the things that I want to be doing, whether it's the car they drive, whether it's the holidays they go on, whether it's the businesses they run, whether it's the relationship they have with their kids, their family, the relationship they have with themselves, I find those people and I hang out with them, okay? I'm then able to add value to them with my experiences. I can then relay these messages back to you. But what I've done is I've managed the people I'm hanging around with. And I think what happens in society is we don't do that. We just go, well, they're my family, they're my friends, that's my brother, that's my sister, I'm supposed to hang out with them. Even if you don't like them and you get nothing from them, people just do it. And then we walk around just pissed off at the world all the time. So it's really, really important that you work out who adds value. And also, when I say this, who gives you energy, increases your energy. Like I was saying before about we'd leave these parties or these situations where Sarah and I would have zero energy because you would give up more than you took from that interaction. Now, if you're doing that anywhere, any part of your life, you need to assess that and work out what needs to be changed, okay? So you need to work out who's taking all your energy, but who increases your energy. You need to have more of the energy in your life and remove the people that are draining it away from you. Like I said, you need to be doing the things hanging out with the people who are doing what you want to do, okay? And that could be in the form of a mentor. That could be in the form of some advice. I have some guys who are just really, really good friends. And when it comes to specific areas of my life, I only call them. Nobody else, because they're the guys who are doing really, really well in that area. I have a teacher I used to work with who posts some amazing stuff on the relationship he's got with his older kids when they come back from uni or they're away from school. And I speak to him and I talk about how that's the kind of relationship I want to have with my kids when they're older. My kids are 10, 15 years away from that time. But I see what Steve's doing and I check what he's doing, and I'm making a conscious note and a conscious effort to work out what he's doing and how that can apply to my life and my kids moving forward. But I think that what this comes around to, and going back to what I said at the beginning, you've got to raise your standards, have higher expectations. Now, this goes for yourself, and this goes for the people around you. And if they don't cut the gravy, make the mark. That's a Yorkshire term, I don't know what it is. But if they don't do it, just start to thin them out. And by that, I just mean start to reduce the time you spend with them. Obviously, there's people you need to spend time with because they are family, or their next door neighbours and stuff like that. You can be polite and you can go through sort of not the motions, but go through just the be polite, don't be rude, get what each other wants and needs from that interaction, and then bounce and go your own way, okay? And that's actually better for you and for the person you're spending that time with as well. So be very, very conscious of the people who you're giving your energy to. And also be mindful as well of the people you can help. So if you're expecting mentors and other people to help you progress and improve, you've got to be able to be prepared to help other people as well. So you talk of reaching up to the next level of people who you aspire to be. Don't forget then to pull the people up underneath you. So the people who look up to you for advice, who look up to you for guidance, who look up to you for some words of wisdom. Be prepared to give up. You just can't take from this kind of atmosphere, this environment that we live in called Earth. You can't just take everything. You've got to be giving, and if you give more than you expect back, you will start to attract what you actually need in life, okay? And I'm deadly serious about this. You give up the stuff you don't like, and the stuff that you do want, you make room for the stuff that you do want in your life, whether that's the people you want to hang out with, the girlfriend, the boyfriend you're trying to attract, the better relationship with your kids that you want to have, the improvement in your career choices, the maybe change of career, the holidays you want to go on, the experiences you want to have in life. Get rid of all the crap ones, all the stuff that pull you down, drain you, and you will then make room for the good stuff. Okay, really make room for the good stuff. And there's a couple of things I have in my kind of like toolkit for this. Meditation for me is massive, so I'm able to be present in the moment. I'm able to give everything that I've got to that person or that scenario or situation that I'm in there and then. I'm not getting distracted. So meditation is massive. Journaling. When I do deal with people who are just doing my head in, I'd make sure I just get all that stuff out of my head, written down on a bit of paper, get it out of there. Then it's not pent up and it's not driving me mad. So then when I do potentially have an argument or a confrontation with someone, I don't just snap and lose my shit. So meditation, journaling is really good. And I've got mentors. I've got mentors that I seek advice from, whether it's phone calls, whether it's ones I pay for, whether it's interactions online or different groups. I have different accountability groups and different mentors and people that I reach out for. And they force me to raise my standards. And I've raised my standards and raised my expectations. And this comes at a cost. People will be shifted out of your life. So back to Royal Marines, they have a ridiculous standard and ridiculous expectations, but that's because they're the best in the world. And if you want to be the best person of yourself, have the same. So amazing high expectations of yourself and others, and raise your standards. Guys, this has been the 1% Daily Show, 14 minutes and 24 seconds for you today. Episode 51. Have an amazing day. And remember, life is one big game. Make sure you play it your way and maximize your potential. Bye-bye.